Now, before we get into this video, I just want to state what I'm defining a textured dial as. Essentially, anything that isn't flat. By that, I don't mean that the dial has sandwiched multiple flat layers to it in order to create a sense of depth, but the dial itself is created from material that isn't flat. A textured dial is my second biggest consideration when it comes to a watch after its dimensions. A good use of texture can go a long way to make a dial stand out from the rest of a collection. Grand Seiko tend to be the king of texture, but I'm going to showcase 10 watches that are a lot more affordable and all come in under the $1,000 mark and offer a range of textured dials, some that I own and some that I have my eye on. Those that I own have all featured on the channel before, so I'll leave links to those videos in the description below if you want more information than is offered in this video, which is just focusing on the dials themselves. When it comes to pricing, I'll be starting with the cheapest models and moving up to the most expensive. I'll be stating prices based on US dollars, either what I paid for the watches or the current cheapest prices I can find online at the time of producing the video. I'll also add that I've chosen one watch per brand featured to try and get a wide range of inspiration for you to draw from. The Pagani PD1731 was the very cheapest watch with a textured dial on AliExpress from a brand that I would have enough confidence in to feature in a video. The dial has a corkboard style texture, which gives it a little extra over a flat dial. It's 38mm in diameter, has a VH31 movement, is constructed from stainless steel, has a synthetic sapphire crystal, and I have to say, I think that at the very least the advertising images of the green model in particular are pretty eye-catching. Not sure it's possible to get a textured dial on a watch for less, but I'm happy to be corrected in the comments below. The sand dune texture of the Addies Dive AD2030 model is a step up over the previously mentioned Pagani model for sure in terms of visual experience. I'm not a big fan of the Addies Dive logo, but they have been doing something about that recently. While a lot more expensive at $100, the automatic versions of this dial come with the brand name printed in script instead and have the added bonus of a date complication, which makes the entire package a fair bit more appealing in my opinion. If you like the corkboard texture of the Pagani but want an upgraded model, the SM0106 from San Martin is where I'd direct you. While the dial is advertised as matte blue, macro footage reveals the texture of the dial. San Martin are pretty much the gold standard when it comes to affordable Chinese watchmaking, so while this is a pretty huge jump in price over the Pagani, you are going to be able to see the gap in quality on wrist. Now, you can purchase models with the wave dial texture from AliExpress too for a much lower price point than this, but you won't get the gradient effect alongside it with the two-tone bezel to boot, as you do with the Islander Northport Seafoam. This colourway in particular fits perfectly with blue skies and white sands. Not only that, but you're getting a really strong set of specifications with the increased cost and excellent build quality. Citizen produce a range of watches which feature washi dials, a Japanese paper made from the Gampi tree, Mitsumata shrub and mulberry bush that's tougher than ordinary paper and used in many traditional Japanese crafts. Having a dial made of paper might not sound like much of a luxury, but seen up close the texture is really quite something. However, these models, even second hand, are at least $2,000 and so not part of this list. However, MMI Watches Nor Lights range features 3 models in collaboration with the Awagami Paper Factory, featuring washi dials for a sliver of the price of the Citizens. Now, I don't think the design of the watches themselves is top tier, but if it's washi you want, this is the cheapest way to get it. There are many reasons why you might have heard of the Baltic MR01. It was such a hit when it released that you were having to pay nearly double the RRP just to get hold of one when they were completely sold out even before they launched. From the classic styling, the Breguet numerals or the micro rotor movement, there are plenty of reasons why you might have clicked on an MR01 video in the past. One overlooked component of the watch is that grained effect on the dial and the ridges of the concentric circles under the subdial. Definitely not a model to be overlooked when it comes to texture, but the micro rotor movement is going to have a fair amount of route to it, which might come as a surprise to you if you've not owned one before. Now, I'm going to be talking specifically about the Mojito here because it's the model that I own, but really I could extend this spot to the entire cocktail time range from Seiko. As the name suggests, each model is based around a different cocktail from Japan, but the geek in me likes to think that the Mojito dial is made out of dragon scales. As it is a Seiko, everything you're getting here is manufactured in-house, and that can be a real selling point to some. The Zelo Swordfish represents the first real step up in materials in this video and comes in just over the halfway point in terms of the budget we've set. Here, you're not getting manufactured texture. Instead, you're getting a thin slice of a meteorite that is, by its nature as a material, grooved and interlaced with a unique pattern of metallic striations. As a result, each dial is completely unique, and while the Zelos is far from the only model to feature meteorite as a material, it is one of the most affordable. Maybe it's wrong to be biased in a video like this, but if a textured dial is what you're after, in my opinion there is nothing better than the Citizen NB 1060 12L under $1,000. Each silver leaf lacquer dial is unique and looks more and more alive the closer you look at it. In my review of the watch, I described it as staring across the surface of an alien world, and it might sound corny, but the dial is pretty out of this world at this price point. It is a Japanese domestic model though, so they aren't as easy to acquire as other watches, and the strap isn't exactly sized for larger wrists, so a couple of words of caution to do a little more research before you take the plunge. The Straum Opphaug range is based on the Norwegian landscape, and this green one in particular focuses on its hills and valleys. It looks like an aerial photo, with a subtle gradient drawing your attention to the centre of the watch, where the green is most vibrant. Straum isn't exactly a household name, but if the brand is known for anything, it's the quality of their dials and the illusion of depth that they create. The quality of finishing on display is also excellent, and while I'm yet to have any first-hand experience with the brand, I'm always reassured by the quality on offer by the fact that almost everything is sold out. Of course, that is frustrating if you're looking to make a purchase, but at least you know they're in demand. Hopefully, I've suggested something in this video that will have piqued your interest. Well, I'd love it if some of you could repay the favour. As I said at the start, textured dials are one of my biggest weaknesses when it comes to watches. I can't get enough of them. But there's only one of me and only so many hours in the day, so while I've tried to be comprehensive in this video, I'm sure there are countless other watches out there that I haven't considered, and if you know of any, I'd love some suggestions in the comments below. As ever, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen or found it useful, consider leaving the video a like and subscribing for more content like this. The channel is getting close to the 1,000 subscriber mark and I'd love your help getting there.